So this is going to be the intro video for Pan That Palette for 2016. Last year I kind of did a palette that the majority of other project panners were panning, and that was the original Lorac Pro palette. But this year I decided I wanted to pick out a different palette. This is actually my oldest palette. It's been in my collection for the longest. Let me give you a little sneak peek first and then I'll keep talking about it. So this is the Urban Decay Deluxe shadow box, I think is what it's called. And like I said, this is my oldest palette in my collection. I've actually lost the little sponge applicators that were over here. I have to be really careful with it because the shade right here, which is Shag, is not glued into the palette. So I need to re-glue that in, but this is my starting point as of right now. I'll kind of put my hand over that one so I can show you the dips and everything. I've played around with the majority of them, except for this shade down here, which is Shag, and I really haven't messed around with Peace too much. That's the one that makes me quite nervous. I'm more worried about this bright light blue shade than anything else in here. The green makes me just a little bit nervous, but I think I could work with this one much easier than Peace. But anyway, that is what the palette looks like there. I liked that it only has the one dark shade, and not only are there some really bright shades in here, but there's some neutrals down here at the bottom, so I can actually create an eye look with the majority of the shadows in here. And here is some swatches of the shadows in there. So this is the Peace shade that makes me a little bit nervous, and this is Shag down here. So those two are the iffy ones, but everything else I don't think I'll have a problem with it. Typically I'm not very fond of gold shades, but this shade right here in Honey, it's actually more of a yellow than it is gold. Like it pulls more yellow on my eyes, so I'm perfectly fine with a bright yellow. There are 9 eyeshadows in here that have 1.2 grams of eyeshadow each, so not too bad. I also thought that since there's a ton of bright shades in there, I wanted to have something that was a little bit more toned down, something that I could combine that was more of like a neutral palette. So I have this little quad here. This is from Maybelline. It's one of their Chic Naturals quads. This is in 40Q, which is Designer Chocolates, I guess. So that's what it looks like there. This one has 4.8 grams of eyeshadow in here. And that's what it looks like there. I have some swatches here. You can't even see that shade right there. That is this light one. It's about my skin tone. But everything else, I have a little bit of this brown in my crease today. I really enjoy this kind of burgundy pink right there. That's a really fun shade. So I'm hoping that I can finish this one off too. Obviously, I'll be focusing most of my attention on the Urban Decay palette, but I obviously want to work through some of my smaller quads as well. Between these two palettes, I think I'll have plenty of eyeshadow to play with this year. I'm also planning to toss in some singles throughout the year into my various projects, but for right now, these are going to be the shadows that I'll be concentrating on. So anyway, that was my intro. I'll probably have an update for this in a couple weeks. I'm probably not going to have very much progress just because I'm filming this about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks into January. So there won't be very much progress, but hopefully I'll have a little bit to show you before the next update. And that is it. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.